Good afternoon. It's once again 5:30 in the p.m. on a Friday, and I am delighted to be back in Chicago. As a matter of fact, I just got off the airplane, and I'm fortunate because I got here in time. I did stop at my house and made myself a hot dog because I hadn't had an opportunity to have lunch today. And I actually presided this morning over the United States House of Representatives. We kind of take turns being in the chair. And so I opened the session this morning after Speaker Pelosi actually opened it and then transitioned over to me. And I did an hour. Then somebody else came in and they did an hour. And we passed the AM Export Bank, the Export Bank, a bank that provides money and resources. People, small businesses can borrow money. Big businesses can borrow money, especially if they're doing business abroad, overseas. And we always say overseas because in order to get to some of these other countries, you kind of go over the sea. and so we call it overseas. I got an interesting show lined up. We've had a great week in the United States of America. I'm sure some of you have been glued to your television sets because the impeachment proceedings have been going on. But we've done some other things beside that. We're going to get into a little bit of all of it in a minute. I know we've got a caller ready to engage us, but caller, hold on for a second, because before we do that, I've got two young people who are joining me this afternoon, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. They are doing internships in my office, and we're going to talk about internships and apprenticeships and what those things really mean. So I'm going to ask the lady if she would introduce herself first. We always say ladies first anyway, at least when I was growing up. They taught us that way, that gentlemen always would yield to ladies. So I'm going to yield to the gentle lady and ask her to introduce herself, tell her which school she attends, and what she's thinking about doing with her life.
Okay. Hello to all the viewers. My name is Kyla Harris. I am a resident of the 4th Ward, recent graduate of Middle Tennessee State University. My career aspirations, I would say, are entrepreneurship. In April, I actually recently launched my own LLC, which is a production company. So I'm in the process of developing that, as well as currently interning with Congressman Davis here at his office.
And you graduated from Milliken?
Middle Tennessee.
Oh, Middle Tennessee.
Yes.
Oh, that's different. I'm thinking of, we've got a great school downstate in Illinois called Milliken University. We got a bunch of places all over. But now, where is Middle Tennessee located?
Middle Tennessee State University is located in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is about an hour outside of Nashville. And it's in its name. It's in the middle of Tennessee, so it's like central Tennessee.
All right. Been to Nashville. Yeah. Matter of fact, been to Nashville several times. Been to Memphis even more times. I grew up in the state of Arkansas, not very far from Tennessee, and many of my classmates in undergraduate school were from Memphis. We used to have a joke about students from Memphis. Everybody from Memphis could do something. They either were on the football team, on the basketball team, or they were in the band, or they were in the choir. So nobody came from Memphis who couldn't do much. And it's a nice little old town. Not quite as big as Chicago, but it's a great city. And sir, we'll go right to you.
All right. My name is Sherrod Cobbins. I'm the member of the 24th Ward. I'm a freshman at Kennedy King College, and my career aspiration is, like she said, entrepreneurship. My biggest thing now is that since cannabis and marijuana is becoming legal this upcoming January, I would like to own my own cannabis business, not for smoker consumers, but more so for people that like to enjoy them in pies, cookies, and brownies.
Ah, so you don't want to. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I guess cannabis is becoming kind of the wave. And I must admit that I've got mixed feelings about cannabis. And although I understand that there are some properties and some of what is contained in the product that can help pain go away, that you can rub with, you can do a lot of things with. And I guess people just automatically think in terms of, I guess, reefer smoking and that kind of thing, and getting laid back, and getting high, and feeling good, and being mellow. And all that's really cool. But I do have a problem with anything that alters one's natural proclivities. And that concerns me a little bit because I always want to be in as much control of myself in a natural way. I'm saying I just like to be in control. Like I think sometimes people who smoke reefer, they get a little cool. They kind of get mellow. Sometimes they get a little sleepy.
I recently took a trip out to California this past June. And I know in California they've already passed legislation and they have dispensaries where people can get recreational marijuana as well as medical marijuana. And when you go into the dispensaries in California, they're very like much different. Lots of times they're like, if I'm being frank, they're kind of like a Starbucks, you know? And there's obviously like a certain amount that a person can purchase per day. And you have people who are like well informed on different strands and things of that nature, so they can like walk you through it. Whether you're like a recreational user, a medical user, or even if it's just something that, you know, if you're recreational and you're just beginning to partake, they like walk you through it. So just seeing that aspect of it and just knowing that, as Shiraz said, like it's the train has already, you know, left the platform, so it's already moving, you know. Yeah. It's Illinois, they passed legislation, and it for a long time marijuana has had like a history of like criminalization. Mm-hmm. But I think as young folks understand like just the various innovation that can be made, that is taking place, and that can also be made from the product, and just also how it's a new like it's a new enterprise, a new industry, a new like economic growth for us young people. So like just trying to get aboard, you know.
What frightens me about it is not any of those properties. What frightens me is that some people get carried away and overuse and overindulge. And I guess they call that abuse. You know, like drinking wine, there are a lot of people who have a little shot of every time they have dinner. They have a little shot of wine. They drink wine with their dinner. Then there are other folks who be waiting for the liquor store to open at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? They be waiting, saying, hurry up and open up. But I think the educational part that you just described is really good because it means that in California, it it's being regulated in such a way that as people become aware, they can know how to make the most effective use. I remember when I was a college student, the most popular person on campus was the sample man. They gave away cigarettes, and they had them in these little four in a pack, a little box. And the sample man just walking around, hey, you want a Chesterfield? Throat hot, smoke cools. Or you want to be a Marlboro man? Right on, so and so and so. And so many of us started smoking cigarettes. Later on, as we really delved into the dangers of cigarette smoking, I stopped smoking cigarettes because I went to visit my father one time, and I asked him for a cigarette. I was out. And he said, cigarettes? I said, yeah, you know, one of them Camels that you've been smoking long as I've known. He said, oh, I don't smoke no more. He said, I think any fool should have better sense than smoke cigarettes. He said, once I found out that it was harmful, he said, I quit. But let's go to the phone and see what our first caller got to say. Yes, caller, are you there?
Good evening, Dr. Davis, U.S. Representative to the 7th District, and your guest as well. I'm going to be brief about my comments about what went on TV in terms of the impeachment and about the running theme. One of the things is to always be country before party. And some people don't understand that when they take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. And I've seen some people that wasn't necessarily upholding a oath. And one of the things that I noticed was this. They keep on talking about Biden and his $50,000 a year, no, $50,000 a month salary. But yet, some other people was talking about the Ukrainian people that was in government, that was in control. They stole over $40 billion. Now, I think wrong is wrong. I ain't going to say it was what he did was right, what it was wrong. But I think stealing something like over $40 billion should be attract much more attention than $50,000 a month's salary. As I go on, the president, some people said that he threatened a witness, whatever way you want to put it. It wasn't a smart thing to do while someone is giving testimony. And when I noticed about the Republicans, when it came to this one witness, I'm going to be real brief, I'm going to wrap it up now. They said that the president sort of cut him off at the knee. And they can't exactly defend that stuff, and they tried to brush it off real quick. And when this man has done a lot of things that wasn't very presidential, and one of the things they brought up, that his practices, he is a threat to national security. And when you're trying to harm the country any type of way, you need to be removed. And I'm going to shut up and listen to you and your guests.
Well, I'm going to ask my guests if they will respond to that. Do either one of you, as of this moment, based upon what you've heard and what you've seen, do you think that the actions of our president have been a threat to national security?
I would say yes. There have been multiple instances in which the president has used like his executive power to leverage information and or other information with like international countries, and it hasn't always been on behalf of the U.S. as so-called. Sometimes, in my mind's eye, it looks as if it's coming for a more of a personal use or gain against his political opponents.
So if you were voting, you would vote to do what? Would you vote to impeach him?
I would vote to impeach him.
You would?
I would vote to impeach him. I absolutely would vote to impeach him.
All right. Would you vote to impeach him?
Me personally, I would definitely vote to impeach him. At first, when he first got into office, it was just bad things that was just surrounding his name personally, and like when everybody was saying when he first got in office, he's a businessman. How could you let a businessman run a country as powerful as ours? And also, we have so much power, and how could you try to put that together with other powerful countries that don't like us at all? And putting us in danger is very, very important.
All right. Let's see what our caller got. Caller, are you there?
Good evening,
Yes. How you doing?
Congressman and your guests.
Good.
I had a good couple comments. It's interesting that today's events on the on TV, and I want to think that overall, let me ask you, Congressman, with this administration, would you say there's been a lot more deregulation? And is that a good thing? I mean, you were just saying earlier about now there's an opportunity to go overseas and open businesses, and I guess maybe it wasn't quite that loose and friendly before. And then I guess another thing is there's been a lot of, with this president, a lot of presidents with different, how do you want to say it, philosophies and thoughts about how the government could be run better in the future, opposed to things just being business as usual. Now, and the other thing was about marijuana. In foreign countries, their laws may be a lot different from the laws here. I mean, some countries, you know, you can get a lot of trouble about marijuana, whereas here, it may be legal now, and people go to other places and find out that they gotten too lax and find themselves in a lot of trouble.
But every country, and that's what countries like, is the sovereignty to be able to make their own decisions about what they. I've been in countries where they had shooting galleries for people who were on heroin and cocaine. Of course, I wouldn't want to be there, but they had it. I've been to Holland, and they had places that people went, and you know they just kind of
Yeah, it was a designated area for that.
did their thing, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
But well, you know, my position relative to this administration, it was made before they ever got in office, so not much has changed.
Well, another thing now, for instance, in Africa, back in the 70s, marijuana wasn't quite so, how you said, popular.
Well, in
And the
some
laws
places
were
in
more
Africa,
strict.
and of course, the Africans didn't have the wherewithal. That is, the indigenous Africans didn't have much resource, you know, to purchase certain things. They didn't have much money. I mean, so they couldn't have done much. Well, thank you. I think we may have lost that caller, but let's go to the next one. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman, and listen, a great day to be on God's green earth. But listen, let's not impeach him. Let's do this. Walk out the door from the White House and go to prison. That's it. Put him in jail for the rest of his life. He'll never have come home. Listen, and can't you imagine the facilitators what you learn from? And can't you imagine being an intern for the White House? I wouldn't want to be in there. But listen, everybody has an opinion. We live in America. You go gold reefer, so I in particular don't care about it, but it go legalize it, but that's another story. But again, make sure you find the right facilitator to teach you what you need to really learn. You go in front of Donald Duck, you ain't going to learn nothing. So, again, be smart. Congressman, thank you for taking the call and let me get out there so I hear your response. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, I hope that we hurry up and finish with this. And I know we're not. It's going to take a lot of time because there are some other issues that I'd rather be dealing with. Trying to figure out how do you reduce student debt? How do you make sure that sick people got health care who don't have it now? I'd like to build some more health centers like the one right down the street that we just passed at Mile Square, right on the corner there. I'd like to make sure that hungry children have food. And, you know, some folks say we can do 2 or 3 things at one time. We can walk and chew gum and all that kind of stuff. But if we're taking up all of our time on the operation of government, it means that we're not debating, discussing, and getting solutions for those other kind of issues that I think are also important. Let's see if we got another call. Caller, are you there? All right, so we're fine. Are you getting a feel that people are very interested in this impeachment stuff? And
I think, ultimately, a lot of people want to see Trump impeached, especially, in Chicago. And just when he was elected, just seeing how, the city, reacted. He's not too fond and too liked here in the city.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not certain, I can't speak for everyone, of just, how informed they are about the impeachment hearings and just also the process. Would I vote for Trump to be impeached? Yes. Do I think that this impeachment process is going to be drawn out or should be drawn out? Absolutely, yes. More than likely, what I think would occur is that it's going to be drawn out, and the earliest, hypothetically, I could see it ending is August, September. That's the earliest.
all right, our time is running out, and I'll let you have the last word.
It's hard. It's hard. I really think that America wants to see him get impeached because of the simple fact, if we go back in history, I believe it was President Nixon who was...
He resigned.
Run out of office.
He was resigned.
He resigned before they can impeach him. And I think they found another President Nixon and Donald Trump, and it's just we got to get him out of here. We can't go through the same cycle.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't think President Trump would ever resign.
He won't run again. What's gonna happen is they're gonna draw it out, and his advisors are gonna tell him not to run again.
He doesn't
And someone
listen
else is
to,
gonna get
you
it.
know any advisors that he listens to?
And
All of the advisors I know say he don't listen to us. Well, its time is gone. We've got to go. It's been great having both of you. We hope you'll come back. Thanks to all of our viewers and all of our callers. Have a wonderful week, and thank God it's warmer now than it was on Monday. I'll see you next week. Enjoy life.